Hi, Juliana. It's Mr. Y, obviously. This is kind of the midpoint of Bare Necessities. And for the second half of this, there are a couple of specialized techniques that I think you're going to need to know about before you can do this because it gets a little bit harder. And there's a couple other things you got to worry about. First of all, I know that you've pretty much been playing with just about two fingers on the fretboard, and that's okay for a limited technique, but I think for Bare Necessities, at least at the end, you're going to need to get into all four fingers. And of course, the way you're going to do that is, first finger on the first fret, second finger on the second, third, and then fourth up on all those frets. And that gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of the notes you can play without shifting your hand all over the neck. Now, you do have to shift sometimes. There's going to be a part at 71 where we have to shift too, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. But if you can plant your hands, generally speaking, if you can plant your hands in one place and not have to shift as much, that's going to make it faster and easier for you to play. The downside, of course, is you do have to be able to use your other two weaker fingers, your pinky and your ring finger, which are the kind of the stupid fingers on your hand. They don't work too well sometimes. But if you train them, you can get better at it, of course. And the way I do it is just these, stupid little finger exercises. First finger. Being clear to get a nice clear sound and using lots of pressure so that you get a nice sound on each string. Of course, you would go down and do these on all the strings. You could also do them backwards, of course. So doing a little bit of those every day when you practice, just as maybe a warm-up kind of thing, would be really helpful. There's a couple of specialized things, like I said, in the Bare Necessities. Particularly, the first little tricky one is around 55. At 55, you have the E flat on the D string, that first finger on the D string, and then the G open string on the G string, of course, and then the high B flat. Now, you can play that third finger, of course, so boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. That's not too bad. There's two of those in a row. Now the slightly tricky part comes on the A flat on the next measure. Measure 57 this is, okay? We have a low A flat, which is fourth finger on the low E string, okay? Then you have a third finger, C, on the next string, okay? And then an E flat is your first finger on the D string. So you've got that. So you're gonna have to shift here a little bit. Boom, 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 like so. That's not too much of a move. And then the next measure, we have an A natural, so you can just do that on your open A string right here. You don't have to worry about any fingers. And then the last two notes in that measure, the C and the E flat, are the same as the previous measure. So altogether, in measure 57, we have boom, 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 boom. Okay, those three in a row. That was a little tricky for me. I had to work on that a little bit. Okay, so you may want to just practice those couple measures. Make it easier than it looks. I mean, you have to go through and do one or two notes at a time and really focus on that and really pay attention. It took me, it took me probably 20 minutes of good practice altogether. Not all at once, but 20 minutes a couple of different times to get that really down. Okay. The other slightly hard part, and I think it's a little harder actually, is the part at 71. This becomes kind of a walking bass line, where you're kind of walking up and down the fretboard, but it really does help if you can shift positions here, and I did not do this on your tablature, so we're going to have to change your tab. I'll show you this next time I see you. Maybe I'll make a new copy of it and write in the correct ones and give it to you. But anyway, you can see at 71, we've got a high E flat, and then it goes way down to the G. Now, I've played around with this in various ways, and I've discovered that if we shift up to what's called third position on the bass, and so you're going to plant your first finger not on the first fret or the second fret, but actually the third fret up here. If you can orient around that, it gets a lot easier because you don't have to shift around a lot. You can see on the D, instead of playing the D open D, what we're going to do is we're going to play it third finger in third position. So we're going to play it down lower on the A string, but in third position. Okay, that's going to be the D right there. And then, third finger. Third finger meaning your ring finger. Okay. Then on the E flat, you've got fourth finger right there, and we can do that there instead of down here, instead of first finger down here. If you do it in first position, you end up shifting around an awful lot, and that's just not going to be too easy. So we're going to start on the third finger here and do, let's see, the D is in third finger, third position. Then you've got a E flat, and then you can see to get out of the low G, you're just going to plant first finger here, and then second is A flat, fourth is B flat, A flat again, and then you're back up to C first, second, third. So basically what you're doing is okay. So we've got D, let's see, D, E flat, G, A flat, B flat, A flat, C, D flat, E flat, boom, 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 boom. So in order to avoid shifting all over the neck, if we go to third position there, you can kind of stay planted in one place and just use your four fingers, which is helpful. I'll do it starting at 70 in slow motion. It starts on those two B flats down low, and I'm going to shift halfway through this measure. You'll see we have B flat, C, and then I'm going to shift to third for the D, sorry, third finger, D, E flat, G, A flat, B flat, A flat, C, D flat, D, E flat, G, A flat, B flat. And then we get to the last line, 77, and it's pretty much back in first position. We have B flat, C, some of the same stuff we've done before, D, E. Then this little part right here, the very ending, starting at the second note of 79, we're going to shift up to third position again, because if you do that high C in third finger on the high string in third position, you can do C, B flat, and then G flat, F, E flat, B flat, E flat. So that last two measures becomes a lot easier. Since you're already in third position here, you can use third finger and then second finger, and then you just go to, third finger and first finger, and then you just go to second finger for the next note on the next string down. So, like I said, some slightly different technique for these parts here at the end. A little bit more challenging, for me at least it was. So you're going to want to, like I said, work on those four fingers, trying to get them down, because I don't think this ending part is going to be possible if you're just using two fingers. You're going to have to end up shifting around an awful lot on the neck, and I think the song is too fast for you to really do that comfortably. So if you could work on those four fingers, that's probably going to help you in the long term. It doesn't seem like it, it doesn't seem easy in the short term, of course, but this is one of those fundamental kind of things. If you want to play baseball, you got to do the batting practice. And I think right here, this kind of batting practice is really going to help you out in the long term a lot. Okay? I will do a recording of the end of Bare Necessities starting from, like 47 or whatever, sometime later today, but I did want to get this up there too, because the technique, I think, needs to be kind of in place before you're going to be able to play the end of Bare Necessities. Okay, good luck. Thanks.